ReadyUpLive. It's time for some new Halo 5 gameplay, this time on the rig. This is now the third rig video I've uploaded. Definitely different than the others. Luckily, I do pretty well this game, but my team unfortunately does not. We had to team balance because my side was always winning, and by team balancing just kind of meant putting the less skilled players on my team, but you know, it is what it is. It was a fun event. I had a good time, doesn't matter. Still playing Halo. Whatevs. Not really out to win it. So, first of all, before I get into it, there's that deadly hole. Someone already fell down it. You're gonna see it again in this gameplay. That hole, it just sucks people in. It's evil. So in this commentary, I wanted to talk about your Halo rituals, and I guess more specifically, my Halo rituals. You know, having played, so there we go, it's already, hang on for your dear life, Spartan, hang on. You can do it, man. Help me. Somebody help me. Since I got Halo CE, actually I got CE about a month after it came out, so I got the original Xbox very early. I think it was for my birthday, and my first game happened to be CE because I liked first-person shooters, I liked space sci-fis. I saw literally 3 screenshots, and I'm like, this is my kind of game, I'm in. And, you know, sure enough, the story goes from there. You know how it is. There's always, since then, been a Halo ritual, and many people have it, and I get asked about it on Twitter all the time, too. What do you play first? What game mode is your go-to? What settings do you choose? And this ritual started with Halo 2 because we all know how hyped we all were during the days of Halo 2, because it was, you know, Halo 1 was such a groundbreaking game that, oh my god, a second one. There's gonna be a second Halo game. This is super exciting. What are we all gonna do? I like to say I do at least, I always play campaign first. Campaign is my go-to thing. I'm a campaign guy. I wanna make sure I blast through it, and, you know, before I can, you know, experience it for myself, before I see spoilers everywhere, because that kind of thing inevitably happens. I mean, we all know the whole Halo 3, oh, Master Chief and Cortana die at the end, even though they don't. LOL. I actually had someone, while waiting in line for Halo 3, a guy drove by in a pickup truck, yelled out the window, Master Chief and Cortana die at the end, and everyone in the line is looking at each other like, nope, didn't hear that. Sure enough, he's an idiot. That's how it happens. So watch for spoilers, it's gonna happen. But I always blow through a campaign, and I like to go through on heroic, because traditionally, and I imagine it's still kind of this way, is that Halo has been built on heroic, and then they upscale or downscale based on higher or lower difficulties. And, you know, if it's legendary, you can see incineration, I mean the splinter grenades called there instead of pulse grenade. Those things are deadly. Direct hit, instant kill, crazy. But yeah, they just increase or decrease difficulty off of heroic, so I like to play that first because, look, I want to play it how it was made. I don't know if they've ever really confirmed that since, like with Halo 5, whatever, if that's the way it's supposed to be, but I imagine it's pretty much that, because, you know, a little bit of challenge in there, and then they start, you know, scaling it back when you go to normal or easy. So I like to play through on heroic solo, although Halo 5 made me question a bit if I wanted to play on co-op my first playthrough. And I almost went for it, but for me, I've always played Halo solo, heroic solo, one night, charged through it. So, you know, tradition's tradition, I think I might as well keep it. I'm gonna play solo one time, and the second time I play through will be, oh, that hole. That's just deadly. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, but deadly. Like my ex-wife, right? I've never been married. So yeah, so I'm playing through heroic, and then doing co-op second. And it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about it. And then after that, I'm definitely gonna go into probably Warzone. I really want to jump into that game mode and see what very early Warzone feels like before everyone starts locking down, you know, strategies and finds little secrets and has just a slew of weaponry. I think early Warzone is gonna be some of the most interesting Warzone. It's really gonna be exciting to see how it changes over time. And if, you know, if the algorithm works correctly, if you're a new player, you should hopefully, you know, still be on fairly matched teams, but that, as it is, you know, you're not gonna have many people with items unless someone on the first day, you know, spends $8,000 on rec. I mean, then you'd have to assume someone on the other team would be, you know, they're making it somehow. I've heard some of the kind of the behind the scenes of how Warzone's gonna be matched, and it sounds really interesting. It sounds like, you know, assuming it works, I'm totally down with it. So, you know, it's gonna essentially be like, you can have an entire team. You know, it's a very, very simple way of putting it. It's much more complicated, but you can have an entire team. Both teams, say, have pretty much nothing. You guys don't have many things. But you have one player on your team who has Phaetons, who has a ton of legendary stuff. Then on the other team, you might have two players that have a little bit of legendary stuff to match essentially against the guy who has tons of legendaries on your team. That sounds really interesting, and it's again a very, very basic way of putting it. It's a lot more complicated than that, but assuming it works, it should be well balanced. Also, you can notice there I was actually moving around while holding the back button there. A lot of people actually ask me about that, if you can do that, so there you go, you can. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with campaign, head into Warzone, and then kind of go from there. I'm not sure if there's gonna be necessarily an after that point. As much as my rituals just, you know, get comfy, stay up all night, beat campaign, barely remember what I played because I'm so exhausted. That actually happened with Halo 4. It didn't help that Halo 4 had a little bit of a convoluted, oh, here's all these characters you've never heard of unless you really, really remember all the books. So I was, that mixed with extreme fatigue didn't help. And I was like, wait, what did I just play? That wasn't super clear. Hopefully Halo 5 kind of addresses that, and you know, from what I've heard, it really sounds like it can be played standalone, right? Like you can get a new guy into Halo, which I really hope, and I've actually seen a lot of people in the comments, you guys, maybe you listening right now, that were never into Halo or never even played much Halo, and you see in some of this footage and you're saying, yeah, I want to play Halo 5. Like, this game looks rad, because it is. let me be real, guys. I'm really, really in love with Halo 5. I'm eating it up. I just can't wait to play more. And so I'm really, really excited to see that kind of new community grow and, you know, experience all this stuff for the first time, because hopefully Halo 5 will accommodate that. Will accommodate all these new players from different backgrounds, from, you know, Call of Duty players and, you know, maybe guys who just never generally got into Halo. I was talking about someone the other day who was like that, who just played CE, wasn't a fan, and never played since. But, you know, Halo's gone through a lot of iterations and a lot of changes over the years. But it's worth checking out Halo 5. You know, it is that AAA franchise. You know, Master Chief is one of the most iconic video game characters of all time for a reason, for many reasons. And he's going to continue to be so. So I think it's always worth, and that's kind of the way I look at video games, is that whenever I hear about a game a lot, or there's a lot of hype over something, that I play it. And I think it's just a healthy way to, you know, further your understanding of game design and things like that, is really just play stuff. Same with movies. You hear movies, you see movies referenced all the time, just sit down and watch it. You might as well be in the loop, otherwise you're out of the loop. You gotta be streets ahead, not streets behind. It's pretty important to do, and that's why, like, you know, even a lot of indie games and stuff, I always make sure I play them. I've been playing a bunch of interesting games lately, just picking stuff up off Steam that I've always been meaning to play because I always hear people talking about them, or they're really, you know, well reviewed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of people hop into Halo 5 and make the community grow to super strength once again. It's gonna be very exciting. God, I love this weapon here, even though that took me out. I'm just enjoying watching me stick people. Super, super satisfying. So, regarding going all the way back on a little tangent there, going back to your Halo ritual, what's your Halo ritual? Do you start with campaign like me? Do you want to make sure you're not spoiled? Do you jump right into Warzone? I guess that's kind of gonna be a new ritual, right? Do you, I guess the equivalent of that would have been Big Team Battle maybe? Do you play co-op? Do you, just go straight into multiplayer and you don't even care about campaign? You just want to wreck an arena and get a really high rank really quick. You want to get to that 50. What do you do? Are you, actually, well, to be fair, my first step is customization, right? Like, I'll go into the settings and customize my Spartan and do all that kind of stuff, explore the menus. But let me know in the comment section below what your Halo ritual is. And I'm going to try to upload these a lot more often. I'm glad you guys like these commentaries. See you next video.